Hi everyone, this is Nishant from Simply Interiors. Today we are going to talk about acrylics. So there are a lot of questions that people keep asking about what is acrylic, I want acrylic, I don't want acrylic. Today I just want to take a small, some time of yours to just discuss what is an acrylic and where exactly is it going to be used. Okay, this is Nishant from Simply Interiors. Simply Interiors is an interior design firm. We're present in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai and Pune currently, and we take up projects in all 4 cities. If you have any requirements, please get in touch with us. So we get this query a lot that I want my kitchen in acrylic and I want the rest of the house in some other finishes, laminates, or there are lots of finishes. Now I have asked this question a lot of times that do you know what is an acrylic? And the most common answer that we usually get is that yes, acrylics are glossy. So that is the reason I want acrylic. Now a few people also understand that acrylics can be a little harder than laminates, and for that reason they can be a little more scratch proof or scratch resistant, I would say. Now what is the truth behind all this? So to explain this, the first thing that I have to do is I have to make you understand what an acrylic is. Okay, so acrylic is basically it's basically made in 2 different ways. Okay, it's made in 2 different ways. The first process is called extrusion. Okay, extrusion acrylics are, according to a few countries including the US, acrylics made from extrusion can actually be harmful for you in the long run. Okay, and these are acrylics which are basically made by taking a liquid and extruding it out through a certain hole, you can say, similar to the way wires are made, similar to the way thin sheets are made. So these acrylics are available in the market in the form of sheets. So you will get those 1mm sheets, 2mm sheets, 3mm sheets, which a typical carpenter will probably be offering to you. That is acrylic which is made from extrusion. The only advantage in this case, if you're using this acrylic, in my opinion, is it is going to be glossy. Okay, now if you're going for glossy acrylics, there are a lot of laminates from a lot of different companies which are as glossy and much more better in finish, and the pricing is also a little lesser, because the carpenter will most probably tell you that these acrylics, which are these sheets of acrylics, are going to be more expensive, etc., because you specially asked for acrylic. The second way of making acrylic is cell casting. Okay, now what is cell casting? It's basically a casting technique wherein a mold is taken, acrylic is put on inside the mold, and it solidifies into that particular shape. Okay, now this cell casting technique is used by companies to make acrylic boards which are available in the market. Now what are these acrylic boards? So there are companies like Action Tessa which is making these acrylic boards. These boards will come in pre-formed 18mm boards basically. So in case of Action Tessa, for example, they'll take an MDF, they'll pour acrylic on top of it, it solidifies, and they give it as it is in 18mm boards. So what we have to do, so we use that in wherever acrylics is specially demanded, and the pricing that is required is a little towards the lower side, because while these are more expensive than laminates, they are much better than those sheets of acrylics which you get. Okay, now so these acrylic boards which come, there are certain advantages here. They are much more scratch resistant compared to laminates. They are also a lot more glossier. Okay, so that is also there, they are a lot more glossier, so that is something which also is there. The disadvantage in this case is that, one, they come on MDF boards. Okay, that is in a way a disadvantage. The second thing, but it's all factory finished. The second disadvantage is that they come in around 30 or 40 different, basically it's a catalog, you have some 30 or 40 different options to choose from, and there's nothing else which you can do about it. Okay, so, and since it comes in an 8x4 sheet, we will basically have to cut it. We'll again do the edge banding like we do in the case of laminates before we make it into a shutter. Okay, so this is the board form. The another thing which I keep talking about in my videos whenever I say we're doing liquid acrylic, that is the most premium form of acrylic, in which case we take the door. okay, and we basically, you know, do the casting of acrylic on top of the door. Okay, in this case, so we use ICA products for that. In this case, obviously the biggest advantage you get is you have some 300, 400, 500 odd colors to choose from. You can also do the same acrylic with a veneer base, okay, in which case we will use an acrylic which is crystal clear, okay, so that the veneer itself reflects through. Okay, another advantage in this case is that in case you want, you know, 6, 7, 8 years later, you feel that there are some scratches which are visible, it's looking a little old or whatever, you can just call any painter, get it buffed. Okay, third advantage, the edges are not edge banded, they are also the same acrylic, so it's actually much more neater process. The one disadvantage in this case obviously is the cost. Okay, so the cost is a little higher. I keep doing a lot of videos where we have used acrylic on sites. We are currently using acrylic on a few sites, which once the work gets over, the videos will be done. But so you will understand the richness of acrylic, but the cost is higher. Okay, so these are the different types of acrylic which are present. Okay, there are certain variations to them which might be available in some areas or the others. Okay, you have to understand that the primary reason why acrylics have become famous is not for our interiors. The primary reason why acrylics became famous is because they can be a good substitute for glass in some applications. So applications like the windows of aeroplanes, okay, so those are basically made of acrylic because acrylic is harder, it's more difficult to break, okay, so compared to glass. Those are the primary reasons why acrylics became famous, and those acrylics are all transparent. So you must have heard of companies like plexiglass, okay, all that they're making is acrylic. Okay, so the reason why acrylic should be used in your kitchen should not entirely be gloss. What you have to understand is acrylic is going to add to your cost, obviously, but please don't fall for those sheets of acrylic which are available in the market. Those are not basically acrylic, it's just a higher, more expensive laminate is what you can say, which doesn't justify the cost basically. Okay, so I hope this video was useful for you. As I said, Simply Interiors is our brand. It's present in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai and Pune. In case you have any requirements for interiors or any further questions related to acrylics, please feel free to ask. Thank you so much. Have a great day. This is Nishant from Simply Interiors.